Hi, this is Jeff Curto, and welcome to episode number 133 of Camera Position, the podcast about the creative side of photography. The last episode of Camera Position talked about the photographer's role as a translator, the idea that what we do as photographers is translate our experiences, our visions, our interests in things in the world into some sort of product or object. And I thought I would start out a short series of podcasts about different opportunities that exist for us to get our work out into the world. Because, of course, as photographers, there is one half of our world where what we're interested in doing is creating the work, making the things, seeing the world through the camera's lens and interpreting it in our own way. But I don't really know too many photographers, including me, who are not interested in also sharing that experience, sharing that work with other people. And that's what I want to talk about today because, it's not always easy to get a gallery exhibition. Some of you may have tried some of the same things that I and many other photographers have done, exhibiting our work not only in galleries, but also in places like coffee shops or local libraries, some place to get the work out in front of a bunch of eyeballs and have some feeling that that work is out there affecting people who are not just us. But what about these other opportunities that exist to get our work out there? Opportunities that exist beyond the social media network of Facebook and 500 Pics and Flickr and so forth and so on, but objects that exist in their own way, in their own right, and offer us up some opportunities not only to share our work in certain ways, but also to share different kinds of work and to finish off those projects, even those small, short projects where it may just be a weekend of activity. What do we do with that work aside from putting it in a box and putting it under the bed or leaving it on the hard drive of our computer? How can we get that work out into the world? So the first one I wanted to explore of these options, of these ideas, was MagCloud. Now, some of you may have already heard about MagCloud, and if so, that is just so great. MagCloud is fairly new to me, is a way of doing print on demand. Now, we've probably talked a bit in the past about Blurb and other options of print on demand books, but MagCloud offers up another option. And one of the things that MagCloud offers up is an option that is incredibly inexpensive. There is a little bit of rub your head, pat your tummy kind of work to do in order to get your MagCloud publication uploaded to the magcloud.com site. But once you do, it offers up some really interesting things. One is that MagCloud publications are very inexpensive. So the MagCloud publication that I'll briefly profile in this podcast is only about $6.50 altogether. So it's an inexpensive way to put a bunch of work together in a common package. Another thing about MagCloud is that not only can you actually get a printed piece delivered to your door, or to anyone else's door for that matter, but you can also get from that printed piece a free or paid for if you choose online or ebook publication. And that alone is something that's worth the price of admission, because the piece that I'll talk about here briefly is something that not only do I have up online as a printable edition that somebody can pay just under $10 for and have it shipped to them, but at the same time they can also freely get, for free in my case, an e-publication that they can download, look at on their computer, look at it on their tablet device, and that alone is something that then maximizes the number of pieces of output that I can do. I mean, I can put the work in front of a lot more people in that way. So I profiled some of this work in a podcast a while back. I have the great good fortune of spending some time on the shores of Lake Superior, both in the summertime and oftentimes in the wintertime as well. Lake Superior, the largest of the Great Lakes here in the Midwest of the United States. And I produced a couple of summers ago a body of work where I sort of made a commitment to only photographing within 100 feet or so of the intersection of where the water meets the shore in this one small section of shoreline. And I made a selection of photographs from that grouping as I edited them together in Aperture, and looked at the pictures and found the ones that I liked the best, and from that created a publication in MagCloud. So now I have this MagCloud publication called At the Lake's Edge. I'll direct links to it for the publication in the cameraposition.com blog, and I'll also link it as a publication for those of you who use the Camera Position app. That will be the publication that comes along with the Camera Position app. So you'll just be able to download it right from the app for free, no charge, because this is just the joy of getting the work out in front of other people. For the printed publication, yeah, I'm gonna have you pay the MagCloud fee for the publication, as opposed to giving away as many as some of you might want to buy. But I'll put a link to that as well. So I actually produced the PDF document for the MagCloud publication right through Aperture's book module. And that alone was really terrific because I never had to leave the Aperture interface. But MagCloud has some instructions right on their website for using a number of other applications, including Photoshop and Microsoft Word and InDesign and Pages on the Mac, and even Lightroom. Even though Lightroom doesn't interface directly with MagCloud, there is a way that you can use Lightroom to create the PDF that eventually gets uploaded to MagCloud. So give it a try. See what you get. And for those of you who do give it a try and make a MagCloud publication, please send me a link to it, or better yet, put that link on the Camera Position Facebook page, and I'll put a link to that in the Camera Position blog as well. If you haven't visited the Camera Position, it's actually Camera Position and my other podcast, the History of Photography podcast, right there on Facebook. And you can link to these, and let's see what kinds of work you listeners are up to, and make a MagCloud publication and either put it up for sale on the MagCloud store, or like I did, put the free MagCloud PDF up there as well. So we'll continue on with other methods of producing work and getting the work off the wall and into people's hands, under people's eyes, and see what we can do to increase the viewership of the photographs that we make. Lastly, I want to note that registration is open for my 2014 Tuscany Italian workshop, and I'll put a link to photographitaly.com on the Camera Position blog. There are 3 spaces left, and hopefully one of you folks might be interested in coming and photographing with me in Tuscany next summer. Meanwhile, I'll see you next time on Camera Position, the podcast about the creative side of photography.